The slap echoed through the mess hall like a gunshot, metal forks froze midair, conversations died instantly, and every head snapped toward the table where a quiet Navy sailor stood perfectly still, her cheek stinging, her eyes calm, too calm. No one knew her name. No one knew her story. And absolutely no one knew that the woman who had just been struck once carried a codename that seasoned SEAL commanders spoke with reverence and fear. Her name, to everyone here, was Petty Officer Meera Hale. But to the few who knew the truth, she was Spectre, the invisible operative from a covert SEAL unit the Navy denied existed. And now, the man who struck her, Corporal Brett Huxley, loud, broad-shouldered, and always desperate to look tougher than he felt, had unknowingly just woken a sleeping storm. A quiet sailor, a growing tension. Meera never caused trouble. She ate alone, trained alone, and spoke only when required. She was smaller than most, moved with quiet precision, and carried an aura that unsettled people without them understanding why. Huxley, on the other hand, was the kind who mistook silence for weakness. For weeks he'd targeted her with little jabs, comments about fragile sailors, taunts about her stature, petty provocations. She ignored them all. She always did. But today, in the crowded mess hall, he pushed too far. It started when she asked him politely to move his tray off her assigned seat. He smirked, muttered something crude, and when she didn't react, his ego snapped. He struck her across the face. Gasps rippled, chairs scraped. Some Marines half rose to intervene but froze when they saw Meera's expression. Not anger, not fear, just a chilling, controlled stillness. Before the storm, Meera's secret world. No one here knew that 3 months earlier, Meera had been reassigned from a covert SEAL team after an operation that nearly took her life. Her unit, SEAL Shadow Team 9, specialized in deep cover missions so classified they were known only by codenames, never faces. Meera had been their ghost, the one who slipped in, solved chaos, and disappeared again. But after the mission in Coruscant Province went sideways, leaving 2 teammates injured and Meera fighting off a dozen insurgents alone, Command forced her into temporary reassignment to heal. Blend in, they told her. Recover, they insisted. No one can know who you are. She obeyed. She always obeyed. But healing came harder than orders. The moment everything turned, Huxley towered over her now, chest puffed, relishing the fear he believed he saw. Next time, sailor, he sneered, watch where. Meera raised her hand gently. Everyone froze. Even Huxley hesitated. Corporal, she said quietly, her voice so steady it sent a cold ripple through the room, you've struck the wrong person today. Laughter erupted from Huxley's table, but it died instantly when the mess hall doors slammed open. A team of uniformed men rushed in, broad-shouldered, stern-faced, moving with purpose. SEALs. Real ones. Their leader spotted Meera instantly, and something like relief washed over his face. He strode forward and snapped into a crisp salute. Spectre, ma'am, command requests you immediately. The room exploded in whispers. Huxley's face drained of color. She, a SEAL, and not just any SEAL, but someone these warriors saluted. Meera didn't salute back. She didn't need to. Instead, she turned to Huxley, her voice soft enough that only nearby tables heard, yet sharp enough to feel like steel. I avoid hurting those who don't know better, she said calmly. Don't give me a reason to forget. The truth shatters the room. One of the SEALs stepped forward. Corporal Huxley, right, she's the reason half of my team is still alive today. You just laid hands on a hero you're not worthy to stand in the same room with. Huxley's knees buckled. Meera didn't look at him again. Instead, she followed the SEALs out of the mess hall, the room parting before her in stunned silence. The mission she couldn't refuse. Outside, Commander Rhodes, the one leader she trusted, placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. We tried to give you time, he said softly. But we need Spectre back. Her chest tightened. She wasn't ready. She knew she wasn't. The nightmares hadn't faded. The weight of responsibility still pressed on her ribs. But then he added something that made her pulse steady. It's the Coruscant team. They asked for you specifically. Her brothers, her family in everything but blood. And suddenly, the fear eased. The purpose returned. The return of Spectre. Hours later, as the helicopter lifted off, the wind whipping through her hair, Meera looked out over the base. She didn't think about Huxley. He wasn't the point, not the lesson, not the story. The real story was this. You can be quiet, you can be gentle, you can walk alone, and still carry storms powerful enough to change the world. Her past hadn't broken her, it had built her. And as the seals strapped in beside her, nodding with respect, she felt something she hadn't in months. Home. A final message for the viewer. Strength is not loud, courage isn't always seen, and the ones you underestimate are often the ones who have endured battles you know nothing about. Meera Hale, Spectre, reminds us of a powerful truth.